Yeah.
Now, some would say that maybe you've been accused of trafficking before. Is that accurate?
I have never had the intent to have sexual intercourse, but I will create the environment for you to intend to possibly have sexual intercourse with me. And there's a fine line.
I got questions prepared for Donnell.
You're a diva. This dude is a diva now. Hey, Miles, remember it was just one camera, one chair, and then as he got more chairs, his attitude just kept changing and changing and changing. You can't give, I don't want to sound
Shut
racist.
the fuck up. We recording?
You can't give a white man, you can't give the more white chairs that white people, well, okay, let me get my thoughts clear. The more chairs a white person brings into the room, the cockier they get. Next, you're going to be in here with three-piece suits with the watch in the pocket.
All right, you guys know him as Ashy Larry, maybe from the Chappelle Show.
No, come on, listen.
What do you want to do?
I know, and I know it's going to start off with this to be like, oh, he's crashing out right at the top of the show.
Go ahead.
You don't have to, I don't know, because for some communities, it sounds kind of like sketchy when you introduce somebody, you know him as Ashy first. They might not know me as Ashy Larry. How about somebody might
How do you
know,
want me to introduce you?
this is a stand-up guy. He got a Purple Heart. He cares about his community. He's a very funny guy. Almost anything other than you know him as Ashy Larry. And the crazy thing is, I came to your studio today, and I got lotion immediately when I first came here, so I should have known it was going to be some type of Ashy reference.
I can't even get through an introduction.
Start
Can't even
off
get through the
wrong.
introduction.
Go ahead.
No, we're going to finish the introduction.
No, start the introduction over again.
But you want me to get rid of Ashy Larry?
You just did it again. Yo, you just did it again. You have to say Ashy. Ashford.
All right, he's
Ashton.
not Ashy, but you've seen him on HBO's The Wire, The Corner Boys. He has one of the most iconic memes that you've ever seen on the internet. One of the funniest guys in the entire world. You guys know him as all kinds of names that I'm not allowed to say, including the Crash Out King. But at the end of the day, I know him more than that. I know him as my friend and probably the funniest dude I've ever met in my entire life. A great human being, a great father. Donnell Rawlings, what's up, dude?
I'm chilling.
What was your problem with the introduction?
It's just that you start off with Ash. You know, you could.
But you are Ashy Larry.
No, you could have said Donnell Rawlings. You may have known him as Ashy Larry, but you had like a sinister smile. If you go rewind this, you had a sinister smile, like, oh man, I'm going to call him Ashy out the gate. But
Was
it's
it?
okay.
Would you call it like a white guy smile?
The white guys don't smile; they smirk. See, that's man. Don't be telling me to do stuff like that with the mic, son. Our Philadelphia some shit this year. You don't know, Miles is a producer of this show, and he's a Philadelphia fan, and we haven't heard him say "blow the whistle" in a long time. Where's Gilly? Where's Gilly at? Where's Gilly at? I told y'all already.
I've really. I've
Okay.
always wondered why they called you Crash Out King, and I never.
You know what?
I never
Some
understood
people,
that.
They could say Crash Out King, and then in some worlds they say Misunderstood King. You know,
It's probably a better
And
term.
that's a better term. See, what people don't understand is that they only acknowledge when you crash out. Crash out, you don't just wake up and just be like, fuck everybody. You don't crash out like that. Crash out, it happens when you continue to set your boundaries. That's a new word I learned. You continue to move a certain way, and people don't want to understand that. And they never acknowledge what it took for you to crash out. They only see the burnout. So nobody focuses on the beginning. So I'm not a crash out person. I'm misunderstood.
I can get down with that. Misunderstood.
Yes.
But we do have a lot I want to get through today because man, there's so much to you that I think a lot of people don't get to see sometimes. You know, they see the funny guy, they see the famous comedian. I don't think they get to see everything, right? So I really want to dig
Thank God
through a lot
I'd be
of
in
that
jail.
stuff. The jail?
I would be in jail if they got to see everything.
Well, they might. I mean, we're going to talk about some of that.
Yeah.
But I think we do need to start with where a lot of people know you from, right? Which, kind of the first thing on set where you kind of got that fame was the Chappelle Show.
Yes.
So just a couple questions, and we'll blast through that because your career is so much more than Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
And although people associate you with that often, you've done so much more than that since then. Let's stop. You got that?
No, we ain't got to stop. Go
You
ahead.
breaking shit already.
Oh man, if it was a white man, they were like, "Can I help you?" I didn't break it; it just came off. I don't know where this interview is gonna go, but I got a feeling we're gonna crash out.
You say we like you got a mouse in your pocket.
No, because I know you
should be an eye.
You're gonna set me up.
No, I'm not going to set you up, but take me back. Take me back to Chappelle Show when Dave disappeared, right? Like, because I think that's the question that a lot of people have when they talk about the Chappelle Show. When did you guys on the set first realize that Dave was gone?
I first realized Dave was gone when he was gone. I don't know. I first realized it when he didn't show up for work. But it's interesting, and it's a very everybody's talked about it, and it's been some many years ago that this happened. But I remember I was on set, and the last sketch I did where he was on set, it was me, Dave, Charlie Murphy. I played the mummy. Charlie Murphy played Frankenstein, and Dave was a werewolf, right? And me and Charlie were so excited to come back to work. We had the success of the first 2 seasons. We were like, oh man, if people like that season, this is going to be the one. You know, me and Charlie was on tour with Charlie, Bill Burr was doing the Rich Bitch tour. It was dope. And me and Charlie had this energy like, this is it. And while we were sitting at the table on part of this scene, the monster scene, Dave was dressed as a werewolf, right? And I looked at him, and he said, I guess 50 million is not enough. And it felt like he was speaking Spanish or Korean or something to me, because I'm like, yo, I'll take 50,000 right now, 5,000. But it was something in his eyes that led me to believe that he wasn't comfortable with something. And I didn't really know what he wasn't comfortable with, because when we were doing the show, me and Dave, like, we've always had mutual respect for each other. We've always been friends. But when I was working on the show, we didn't really hang out that much. I didn't hang out with him. I didn't go to bars or anything like that. I wanted to keep, I wanted to keep my relationship with him strictly on what I do when the camera is on. I wanted him to respect me from that as a performer. You know, the friendship is one thing, but I was excited about this. I was excited about showing him what I could do as a performer. And when he first left, everybody was like, oh, I know you upset. He messed y'all money up, whatever. But I was cool, because that show gave me a platform for people to see what I can do as a comedic actor, sketch guy, and a bunch of things. So when he first disappeared, I was more probably concerned about him, because I hadn't really talked to him, whatever. But
what do you think the most misunderstood thing was for a lot of the general public, like for what the cast was going through?
The cast wasn't,
you personally.
Nobody was going through anything. It was just that it was a great work environment. We was having fun. Everybody's excited about the 3rd season, especially what the momentum that the show was building and how it became such a big part of pop culture. Nobody was going through anything. The only people that knew what was going on behind the scenes was Dave, Neil, and Comedy Central.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't know that. We wasn't part of no negotiating. We didn't know any of that. And the only thing we wanted to do was get to do the show, for people to continue to be introduced to what we do, and then go on the road and do whatever else we can do after that.
Yeah, but I mean, the show eventually ends. Was it hard for all of you guys when the show ended, or you expected it already, like, or ready for the next chapter? Like, what was the hardest part about it?
It wasn't hard. It would have been cool to see another complete season of it. It wasn't hard, because I look at things like this, like, I didn't expect that show to run forever. And I always felt like I'm going to do the most I can with what they give me. Whether that be a sketch, maybe it be one line in this scene, maybe it be like a featured character in this scene, or maybe sometimes it wasn't nothing. But I always felt good knowing that I put the best I could do on the last sketch I did. Because nobody on that show we weren't a cast. You were only as good as your last sketch. If you did some stuff that people liked and it resonated with people and it was funny, then it would inspire the writers to think about you more. But it wasn't like, like SNL, when you hear it's an announcement, so-and-so is going to be a cast member. And for the most part, they got to find stuff for them. That wasn't the case with us. Me and Charlie, we had to fit in wherever we could. And with the short amount of airtime we got, we had to make the best of it.
Lots of myths out there about the Chappelle Show, whatever they are. Is there a myth out there about the Chappelle Show or the cast or anything that pisses you off still to this day?
I have nothing but good memories about that show. Nothing bad. It was
Yeah.
never bad work atmosphere. In fact, when we used to come to work, I think what kind of created the morale on set and everything is when Dave would come to work, he treated everybody equally. He acknowledged everybody. It didn't matter if you was like starring in a sketch, whatever. If you was a dude doing a coffee, he had found time to talk to them. That work environment, it was like family. It was a good time. Sometimes I forgot. I was like, oh, I get paid to do this.
Yeah.
And there would be times, because that time in my life, I was just starting to be discovered by the industry, if you want to say. So I didn't have a lot of money. And I was like, I used to go on set because it was always going to be free food, right? And I knew just by hanging out that Neil or Dave could just look over there, see me goofing off or whatever, and be like, yo, get in the game. So many sketches that I was in, it wasn't characters written on the script. It was just like Dave would see me and he'd be like, you want something? I'm like, hell yeah. One sketch that's really starting to go viral in the news now is when we did the Black Bush sketch.
Yeah. I've
Because
seen it.
people are seeing some similarities with Donald Trump and Dave Chappelle as Black Bush. And I wasn't even working that day. I think I smoked a little weed and I was just on set and I was in the green room eating some Cheetos, right? There's a scene when we're on the podium, I'm eating Cheetos and then it was like, yo, you want to jump in on this? I was like, yeah. And I just literally, that was my civilian clothes. Those was my Cheetos. I had the munchie, and I just went up there, started eating the Cheetos, and just started ad-libbing, and that's a memorable sketch on that show. And that came from me just hanging out, freeloading, getting some food, and more importantly, just always having another opportunity to practice and try to get better.
Yeah. So for Chappelle Show, before the all of the fame from your stand-up, where's Donnell Rawlings from, man? Like really from? Where's your place? Where'd you grow up at? How was your childhood?
I
like
grew
all
up
that
between Washington, D.C. and Alexandria. I was born in Washington, D.C., and this wasn't a thing back then, but being born in D.C., lived in D.C. till I was 12, I think my father trafficked my mother to Alexandria, Virginia.
Traffic.
Yeah.
Now, some would say that maybe you've been accused of trafficking before. Is that accurate?
First off, the definition of trafficking is to take someone across state lines with intent to have sexual intercourse with them. I have never had the intent to have sexual intercourse, but I will create the environment for you to intend to possibly have sexual intercourse with me. And there's a fine line. There's a fine line, right? And your haircut to me represents you don't believe me right now that you've heard this before. License and registration.
No, but let's dig into it.
No, you got license and registration energy right now.
Let's
son.
dig into it. I've heard you
got
say this.
yeah, right, license and registration.
Yeah.
I left it at the house. License and registration. Oh, that's the energy you gave me.
Okay, and like you tell me these aren't your pants, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
What was that?
You're like, these aren't my pants. This ain't my coat. You know when I find stuff on you.
Yeah, well, see, now I feel like I'm being interrogated. I feel like, nah, that ain't mine. Yo, that weed, I don't know how that got there.
No, let's talk about it. I've heard you say that before, that you never intended, but you create the environment. What is the Donnell Rawlings environment?
Well, this is not the Donnell Rawlings environment, okay? This is a man environment, all right? It's not my environment. I think you probably experienced this environment, and anybody that's watching experienced this environment, and I don't think it's breaking the law, but for some reason, when we're out to get a certain thing, we would do things to help in your decision-making process to do those said things.
Like listening,
like
go to the grocery,
store, just doing the right stuff.
Yeah.
So you think, I know this may sound crazy, because I know everybody has sex for love, whatever, but sometimes you do things to kind of persuade your thought process on if I want to be intimate with this person.
Turn off the lights.
I feel like I'm going to have to pull something from the Chappelle Show library. Fifth. I plead the fifth.
Uh-huh. What were you like as a kid, though? Were you always funny? Were you angry? Were you the kid that sat in the corner and they thought was going to blow up the school one day? Or what? Like, how were you as a kid?
I wasn't that, and that's not that. That doesn't exist as much in black schools and white schools. I think you probably, more than likely, you sat beside a school shooter more frequently than I did.
A couple of them, I'm sure. I'm positive of it.
I'm pretty sure. But in school, I was always a funny guy. I was a funny guy in the room. And the thing is, I never thought about doing comedy. I always thought that when I was somewhere, I was a funny guy. I wasn't the gifted athlete. I wasn't a dude that was super tough. In fact, when I was younger, like when the guys used to get together, like, yeah, we're gonna go fight these dudes over here. They never came to get me. But when they had to have a roast session or you had the Jonas session, they'd be like, yo, go get the skinny dude with the big head. That's what I was. I was a funny guy, hung around all the chicks. Nobody wanted to give me none, but I hung around all the chicks. I was just a funny guy. And just so happened that I got introduced to comedy and I never looked back.
Yeah. When was that moment though? Like, when did you realize you're funny enough to make that your career, that you're able to monetize it?
When I first started, I never thought about money. I never thought about money. I never thought about this could make me rich and famous. Only thing I thought about was being good. I never get ahead of myself because I knew anything that I wanted out of comedy, or that's just in life, anything you want out of something, if you put the work into it, you will get those rewards later. So I never was like, yo, if I do this, I can make this my money. I just wanted to be good. But the first time I went on stage, before I started it, I used to be I was in the Air Force. I was a military police in the Air Force. I got out of the Air Force. I was waiting to be a DC police officer. And in the interim of that, I used to be head of security at this grocery chain called Safeway. And there's a guy that used to come to the Safeway. He worked for Hostess Cupcake Company. And he was a comedian at night. And he would give away free tickets to the comedy show. So a lot of people that I work with at this Safeway, we would go to the shows just as, some co-worker stuff to do. And I started heckling the comedians, and I started heckling and heckling and heckling. And I got so nice with heckling, people started coming to the show. They was like, yo, that guy that work at Safeway, the asshole dude, is he gonna be here? That was my credit. The asshole security guy from Safeway. The club wanted me to shut up. Because for some people they would think I was obnoxious, but I thought it was funny and entertaining. And the club owner dared me to go on stage. I didn't do it then. I came back a week later. And the first time I ever touched the microphone, I got a standing ovation. And in that moment, I said to myself, I'm going to be doing this the rest of my life. The idea of being a police, and the only reason I was going to do that for the people that think that, not street or whatever, because that's what I was trained to do in the Air Force. But the moment I got on stage, I knew that this is what I was going to be doing. That was it. I knew it.
Now, I had heard, this is a rumor, I had heard that you got quite a few awards for the way you conduct yourself as a military policeman and like highest arrest count, most dope off the street. Is that accurate, or is those just rumors on the street?
This is a thing called stay in your lane. It is a perfect example of it. I know you as an entrepreneur. I know you as a good guy. I know you that you have some ties with law enforcement right now, but like now you're trying to be funny.
No, I'm being serious. Is that not true?
No.
That's not serious?
You've heard me talk about it. I was the worst police in the history of all military police. I made 0 arrests, 4-year enlistment. I wasn't patriotic. A lot of times white people think because you join the military is because you want to protect the country. I didn't want to go to jail. I didn't want to get murdered on no streets. So and like a lot of brown people do, I chose the military as a transition into me becoming a man or anything that's do with being successful or anything. That was my thing.
Well, that makes sense. So here's the question, like a serious question. Everybody talks about your stand-up.
You can't ask a comedian a serious question.
No, it's serious. It's very serious. The one thing I've never heard you tell anybody, and maybe you have, and I haven't heard it, and we've talked a lot, is you talk about the Chappelle Show, we talk about Dave leaving, but how did you originally get connected on that show? Like take me through how that happened.
Well, Neil Brennan, I've shared this story before. Neil Brennan used to be a producer or intern in Living Color, something to this effect. And he was the guy that worked the cameras for auditions and stuff. And Neil Brennan and Dave were good friends. They wrote Half Baked. Even though Neil had his job, he still was like writing on the side or just creatively with Dave. And of course, Half Baked gets picked up. And Neil is a hot writer in Hollywood. I think he sold like 2 or 3 scripts, but nothing was getting the green light. It was just like he was getting the money for it, but he wasn't seeing his movies come to theaters or whatever. So he decided that he wanted to try to direct and give himself another skill set. He wrote this one man short film, and he reached out to my manager and asked if I would be in the film. He was like, "I've seen Donnell on the circuit. I think it's funny. I want him to do this." So at this time, I was already doing HBO's The Wire, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had some good shit popping, and I was like, "Well, Neil, I know you can't afford to pay me, right? But in the event if you're in a situation where you could throw me a bone," and that's the voice I use. I say, if you're in a situation where you could throw me a bone, then, you know, be it, do it. But usually you say to people there, it's like whatever. And he was like, okay, shot the short, and then maybe like 3 or 4 months later, he said, "Yo, I might have something for you." I said, "What?" He said, "I'm working on a show." I said, "What is it?" He said, "Well, I don't know really what it is now. What's the name of it?" "I really don't know what the name is now, but I'm just thinking about you. And if this goes through, I want to work with you." Cut to the name of that show was The Chappelle Show. Now, me and Dave, we knew each other because when you come from Washington, D.C., it's some kind of like loyalty and camaraderie with like coming from the same town. So
Sure.
he had made his name. He left D.C., he went to New York. And he knew of me because I was making my name in D.C. So we had mutual respect for each other. We had mutual respect for coming from D.C. And, people thought we were funny. But we didn't really have that relationship like that. So it was Neil who pretty much brought me with Dave to actually work with him, to actually be side by side with him in the sketch. But that wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't Dave endorsing it or whatever, Dave agreeing with it. So he was like, "Yeah, I do like him." So that was my initial connection with the Chappelle Show.
Yeah, but you know what? I think what you said, because we do a lot of entrepreneurship on here, and obviously that's what my background is. But what you just said, I want to make sure that nobody misses it.
What?
You planted a seed
Yeah.
without an expectation of return, and then eventually it worked out, right? Like you gave, right? Like it's a giver's gain, and you gave to Neil when he needed, that one man shot done.
Yeah, but this is what people don't understand about this business, and it probably applies to a lot of things you do. You at times have to make certain sacrifices to get to the next place. So often people come in this business and they want everything right then, right? But you gotta make sacrifices. When I was on Chappelle Show, the show was very successful, was popular, and people would think or want to believe that I probably was making millions off that show. And this is no slight to anybody, the producers or anything. When I was doing Chappelle Show, the first season, I was making $500 a sketch. And people would be like, "Oh man, that ain't nothing, that ain't right." I didn't even really care. You could have paid me nothing. I mean, I would have volunteered because I knew that this platform, the number of eyeballs and the people that was watching it, I was like, this step, the Chappelle Show, is just for the next thing. It's for people to see what I've been doing. A lot of people say, "Donnell, if it wasn't for Dave Chappelle and Chappelle Show, blah, blah, blah." I'll put it like this. The Chappelle Show gave me the platform for people to see what I do. And it's almost like one hand washes the other. I wouldn't have been in as much sketches if I was up there bombing. You look at sports, you're not going to put motherfucker in there always fumbling everything. You're going to put somebody going to score.
It doesn't happen without talent.
It don't happen without the talent. But that relationship I had there, it was amazing. It set me up to do more things, and people got to know me as a sketch performer, a funny guy, and they got to know me as a stand-up. And it was like, "Oh, I want to do more or see more of him," and it got people going to my shows and stuff. But everything is in its place and happens for a reason.
Now, after the Chappelle Show ended, and you were going on, you're blowing up your stand-up career. There had to be some smart decisions that you made from an entrepreneurial standpoint.
But you know what? After the Chappelle Show, I wasn't really blowing up in my career, stand-up career like that. Because when I was doing Chappelle Show, a lot of people didn't know I was a stand-up comedian. They thought I was just an actor.
Yeah.
So it was like, if you say blow up in stand-up, what I know, I took the popularity from the show to go do tours, do dates, and now after that, I started introducing myself to people as a stand-up. But I wasn't getting the platforms like the Netflix, the Comedy Central. I was just doing it from the mud. It's like one city at a time, club at a time, and that's kind of how people started getting reintroduced to me also.
Yeah, that was really my question was like, is there a pivot that you made after that show that you don't think people give you enough credit for doing?
No, because a lot of things I did at that show I was doing before the show.
Yeah.
Before the Chappelle Show, I was on HBO's The Corner, which won 3 Emmys like in 98 or 99. Critically acclaimed show that was getting a lot of buzz. That show was so hot that David Simon did a spinoff to that show called The Wire. So when I first started, even before the Chappelle Show, I was being recognized more as a serious actor than a stand-up. I'm gonna tell you, before the Chappelle Show, I had The Wire popping, I had The Corner popping. I was on the Ricky Lake Show like every three times a week. I was on Ricky Lake Show. That might not mean too much to anybody, but for me, that was a way for people to get to see me being funny. And Ricky Lake, man, those residual checks was the shit.
My mom and grandma, they loved Ricky Lake.
I love Ricky Lake. She's an awesome woman. She's so dope. And I still keep in touch with her. I talk to her every once in a while, but she's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So let's change course just a little bit here. All right. Not really change course. You're talking about The Wire, but when you and I met, I didn't
Excuse
really.
me. Cameraman, could you get out the studio?
Oh my God. Here we go.
No, I'm
Here
just
we go.
saying, man. Yo,
we
you
go.
so disrespectful, man. Dude, when white people come to this show, do you do that? Let me just say this. I'm sorry.
We're
Yo,
never gonna
Todd, let
get
me
through
just say this. The level of disrespect. Do you treat the white people like this? When he bring his his police motherfuckers in here? And I feel like I need to talk like this because I've watched your show and them motherfuckers be serious as shit. It was like, so I'm behind the car and then Tom comes up and he backs me up and I tell him 10-4-9 Bravo Charlie. Then that's when the car pulls around. And then he pulls around. I'm telling you, it was that
10-4-9
day.
Charlie. It's not even a fucking. That's not even a sign.
Phonetic alphabet.
That's not
Alpha,
even
Bravo,
recognized.
Charlie, Delta, Echo. But I've seen you guys here. They got the same goddamn haircut as you have. They have the same type of jeans, and they have that goddamn First 48 voice. So we got Tommy in, and then we wasn't going to get anything out of him. And then I said, anybody got a pack of Newports, right? So, of course.
I knew we was never
Jamal,
going to get through this episode.
No, I'm saying, you was like this. Yeah, we knew Jamal.
We're on a tight timeline.
We're not trying to.
I knew we'd never get
We're
through
not
it.
trying to stereotype, but we knew Jamal.
Never.
We knew Jamal had the Newport, so we gave him the Newports and the Coca-Cola, and that's when he confessed. And then when he told us that, we came up on 3 other murders and everything. And then you do some dramatic shit, and then your goddamn face is looking all goddamn dramatic and shit.
We put some music in there too.
Yeah.
Then we put some music in there too.
And then your voice get all dramatic and shit.
I was getting ready to give you so much credit, and then you.
All right, you know what?
can't
You
keep
know
the
what,
microphone
Todd?
in place.
Let's talk about the real deal.
What?
All right?
What is going on with your microphone?
I don't know. Let's talk about the real deal, Todd. You have this platform, right? And you're changing. Every day is part of your personality that's changing. Let me tell you how I know it's changing.
Oh, here
You
we go.
never
Go
wore
ahead.
quarter zip. Now you're a YN. You doing quarter zip with my ties or whatever.
What's a YN? Young neighbor?
And then
Is that what you call it?
Young neighbor.
Young neighbor.
And here's another thing. And I know you on your public speaking thing. This is I hope it don't get to your head, right? You're a motivational speaker. Yeah, you inspire me. But one day you called me, and this is when I was like, this is when I hope you bomb in your public your engagement.
you said yourself, I hope he bombs.
Yeah, I said I hope he bomb. You know why? Because you're focused. This is why I knew you was gonna turn into a diva. This motherfucker says he's doing one of his mastermind events or whatever. He's with his little white friends that inspire people, whatever, right? And he called, his motherfucker say, yo, what intro song you think I should come out to? Yo.
It was an important decision.
You didn't care about your bullet points or nothing. You was like.
Because those are here. Like, those are easy.
And then what I tell you, I don't think this one didn't pass, but I said you should do French Montana. Ain't worried about nothing.
Hey, ask
Neighbor ain't worried about nothing. Neighbor ain't worried about nothing. And you decided against it. But
everything is so easy though. Like, I mean, by easy, I mean speaking to people, like teaching people what I went through because I've lived it, right? Like, so yes, I practice, but I don't have to like bang everything on a piece of paper all the time.
Right.
So yeah, the walkout song was the hardest thing I had to do because I've never done that, right? Like I've never performed like that, like you do.
Yo, but I just felt like in the tone of which you asked me what song, you was trying to get a song that was going to make you dance and everything, right? And you was going to go out there and be like a Def Jam,
it was.
early Def Jam comedians. If you know that, how y'all motivating motherfuckers doing out there?
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, yo, if you're single, make some noise. And I was like, please don't let him get out of touch of what he's here to do, motivate and inspire people.
You and Miles okay, my black friends in my life talked me out of
One,
every
two of
song
them,
that I
two
wanted
of
to do.
them, two. You proud of that?
I got more than 2.
All right. Yeah. Two.
But then as soon as we went to Nashville, I looked at Miles. I said, Miles, I could have pulled off the songs I wanted to do. I
Well-
could have danced on stage. I could have got him hyped. Miles was like, yeah, you should have.
But then if you,
You
did that,
didn't see my vision.
no, Ty, if you do that, then they're not focused on the message. We don't want you to be staying alive, We don't. They don't want.
I
That's
mean, I
not-
wasn't going to come out to Greece or anything like that.
That's not what you were there for. You were there for to tell them your story and try to help people understand what they can do to either better themselves, get inspired, and do some other stuff. And that's how I told you. That's how when we met. You know, it was interesting because you realtor guy, I'm entertainer guy, and it was so funny because you've met a certain level of success in that field, and I've met a certain level of success in my field. But what I thought was interesting about our connection was like this: you was interested in part of what I do, and I was interested in part of what you was doing. And the thing I like about that is because we could have been content on where we were in our careers, but it's like, oh no, there's something else that's motivating me. There's something else that's pushing me to want to try something else. And from that, I remember the studio before you had black friends. There was one white person there, and you got rid of them. You had like 3 black friends. You had a lot of them.
You act like I was some country kid, man. I grew up in the city.
No, I'm saying you had a lot of it. Then they just started getting fired or whatever you do with the neighbors when you would.
They stopped showing up to work.
Well, that's a good reason to get rid of a neighbor. Good reason. But I saw it. I understood that, and up until like right now, with me sitting here talking to you, I see the vision. I see the vision of this. I see the vision of the mastermind thing. I think we should come up with a different name because I don't know, man. I get triggered so much, and this like I'm just coming off of Dr. Martin Luther King birthday. I something about master. I just don't like that term. Can we do like individual mind? Do we have to do mastermind?
We can change the name.
Yeah, I don't like master.
We can work on it.
All right.
We can work on it. Well, you
Do you
skipped
have the
ahead.
copyrights?
Let's
Do you have
dive.
the copyrights to it?
No, I don't want no copyrights. You can
Or
keep
did you
those.
steal them like the
I'll
white
give you the
man do?
residual
Or
from
did
it.
you steal them like the white man does? Shout out to Unc down there in California with tenderism. Is it tender? Tender ain't the word.
We're gonna have to cut it out.
Nah, we gotta
We're gonna
cut
have to
that
cut
out.
that out.
We gotta cut. We're gonna keep that tenderism. What do you feel about this, Todd?
Let's hear it.
I don't know if you know this story.
I've not seen this story you guys are talking about.
It's
so-
viral everywhere.
Okay, let's hear it.
There's a white gentleman from New York, California, has a coffee shop. It's called Destination Coffee, right? His father passes away. He leaves the business to him. The business is not doing that well, right? They're selling coffee. Black guy from Mississippi, Louisiana, one of those gumbo states, right?
Gumbo. I love me some gumbo
Yeah.
there.
His name is Walt. Walt comes to the coffee shop one day, right? And Walt is looking for work, right? He meets this white guy. He said, I make this bomb gumbo, whatever. Bring some gumbo. He tries it, whatever. And they started building a friendship. And then Walt, the African-American older gentleman, he says, man, I think we should start selling barbecue here. White dude was like, I don't know anything about barbecue. Walt was like, I make the best barbecue, the best ribs, whatever. They started selling barbecue. They had like 4 Weber grills, right?
In the coffee shop.
In a coffee shop.
Okay, I'm with
It
you.
was during the pandemic. Walter, the black guy, said, man, you should sell barbecue. White dude like, man, coffee and barbecue don't match. They started selling barbecue. They started selling all the ribs. They started selling all the chicken. And it started growing. It eventually evolved into a barbecue business to the point where the white dude went to some culinary school, some pit master school, to learn the best techniques and everything to make the best barbecue. He got connected with it, started winning awards or whatever. Walt was working the pit. Some kind of way, Walt started doing reviews of the food. And his catchphrase was like, he said, y'all come down here to Destination so-and-so, and they say, is it tender? And he would pick up a rib, pick up a piece of chicken or oxtail, and then the meat would fall off the bone. And he would be so excited because it was tender. And he would be like, is it tender? And then the bone would come, and he'd be like, tender ain't the word. And now it goes from this barbecue spot that's growing. The business was growing before the tenderism part. It's growing. It's building up. It goes from that to a viral sensation.
I've seen the videos now that you mentioned that part.
It
Yeah.
resonates. It goes into, it's a viral sensation, right? Now everybody is like, we didn't know that the black man didn't own the business, right? There's not too many times you're going to see an older black guy and a younger white gentleman, and that white gentleman doesn't own the business.
Yeah.
But they didn't know that. So now everybody is up in arms because tenderism blew up. And that was a catchphrase that Walt came up with. But Walt, and like a lot of people, and they should use this as a lesson, wasn't taking care of business, didn't see the future. The owner went and got the copy trademarks for tenderism. So now this place is a viral sensation. They got like 1 million people on Instagram. They're blowing up on YouTube views, right? And now everybody's like, well, Walt should be owner. He should have equity in the company, right? Which makes a lot of sense. But what people don't understand is bad business is bad business. You know, I'm not picking a side on this or whatever. I'll give you an example. Dave Chappelle, Comedy Central, they gave him a contract that if you look at it on paper, you'll be like, oh man, that's a lot of money. But then you do real numbers, you say, how much money am I generating? And I think that's part of the reason why Dave walked away. He knew that he signed a contract at the time, what he thought was fair, but then as he learned more, it wasn't.
Sure.
Not too many people in the business are going to rip up the contract and say, okay, we want to give you what your fair wage is. Unless you put pressure on them. They put pressure on them. When Netflix announced that they was putting on the Chappelle Show, he would say, don't watch the show. And I think, no, it was Comedy Central. He said, don't watch the show until they give me my money.
Yeah.
He put pressure on them. And as much as what people don't understand about this whole tenderism thing, they ignoring the original story. And the original story was, black guy goes to a restaurant looking for work, white dude, whatever, for whatever reason. He says, yo, man, I'm listening to you. I have an idea. Let's try something. They built something. They built a bond. They built loyalty. They built a brotherhood. You know, now, where it should be now, should Walt get equity in the company? Possibility. Or what they also could look at it, same thing with me with Chappelle Show and other things I've done. Walt was part of a platform for people to see what he do. Now do your own thing.
Right.
But you can't dismiss the belief both of them guys had in each other before it blew up. So hopefully they'll get the money part right or whatever. But that's
money always jumps the way, man.
Yeah.
But that's I didn't know that story, but I've seen the videos.
So what should the owner do? Should the owner say, okay, should the owner say, you need this percentage of my company because you helped me blow it up? What do you think the right thing for the owner to do in a situation like that?
Well, look, you know I own a bunch of companies. And it's always a struggle, right? Because we have these conversations sometimes, like an employee be like, well, I want to raise. But you have margins and stuff that you have to stay within.
Right.
Otherwise, you won't be able to be successful. You have to shut the doors. And oftentimes I'll hear that from an employee is, well, I know that you're making X amount of dollars off this. And what they don't see is they don't see the back end. They don't see how much we have to spend to get there.
But see, and that's another thing, not to interrupt your thought.
No, go ahead.
But I'm ADD. That's another thing. As much as Walt was the spokesperson or the voice of it, you can't sell the ribs if you don't have the top of the line smokers.
That's it.
You can't sell a mac and cheese if you don't have the ingredients for that shit. You know, and I'm like, it's hard. You know, me being black, be like, oh, you shucking and jiving. Like, I believe the owner had invested a lot into his business before Unc popped it off.
Yeah. Here's what I think. If it was me, because I have a huge heart and I want everybody around me to win, right? And if I was that owner, I would have, when I knew it was going viral, when I knew it was that, I would have created some type of partnership with him so that he would reap some of the rewards.
But here's the thing is, they adamant about not wanting to talk their business.
Yeah.
But he's has conversations like he's getting taken care of. He's been compensated or whatever.
Yeah.
But everybody, the public don't need to know.
I think they need to stay out of it.
Huh?
If Walt's on camera saying, like Dave was vocal about, I'm not being treated fairly.
Right.
Like that's different than this situation where if Walt was the one on camera saying, I'm not being treated fairly,
right, exactly.
like he's not giving me my shit, then people should be up in arms. But people are going to talk no matter what.
Right.
And maybe he doesn't have ownership in the company, but maybe the owner is really taking care of him. Maybe bought him house and cars or
but
whatever.
See, that's the side that people don't,
Yeah.
And like everybody's like, oh, now why all of a sudden the owner wants to be in the videos? Because the owner feel like there's a chance of him losing his business. So
Yeah.
with that said, yes, Walt was the face of it, but guess what? It wasn't just Walt. Like he did some introduction, like this is the pit master. These are the guys. There's other things, but Walt is the one that fucking brings it home.
That's it. Two guys though, which is similar to our story. You got two races, two different cultures. You and I, we meet in Yellow Springs, right? Like you're not from Yellow Springs. We meet in a coffee shop. Black guy, white guy, completely different. I wouldn't say completely different backgrounds because we're both from the city, just two different cities. But why do you think those relationships?
But I used to smash black girls back in the day. Is there any similarities? It's only a question, bro. Yeah, bro.
Why would you?
We're talking high
would you
school.
do that?
I'm just talking high school.
I don't want.
Is there any?
I don't want to talk about my past.
Okay, all right. About 3 Kims, right? Hey yo. I'm sorry. I get distracted. What were you saying?
I don't even know what I was saying.
You had a question for me.
I did have a question for you, but why that relationship right there seems like it works for those guys? Our relationship works. Why? Like, why is that? Why do you think that those relationships can work? Because I think that America misses something that's out there, right? Like, we're so divided right now as a country that too often it seems like two races can't be, great friends and really care about one another and want each other to be successful. Like, that's what the mainstream would lead people to believe, right? So
yeah, but it's too many examples of that not being the case. Our relationship and friendship, that's not the case. I believe in like this, man. At the end of the day, I heard this from somebody a long time ago. He said, at the end of the day, you got good people and bad people. No matter what color they are, no matter what gender they identify with, no matter what their financial their financial background is, you got a good person and a bad person.
yeah,
And you try to lean toward being a good person more than anything, but some people are bad people. That's the only thing you can do. You only can judge people by their character. That's how I do it. I have friends that Kid Rock, I consider Kid Rock to be a friend of mine, right? And if I say that, people be like, oh, I can't believe so-and-so. But me personally, I don't know Kid Rock the way some people know Kid Rock. I know him to be a cool guy with me and everything. I did his comedy show. About 4 years ago, it was a comedy festival. I did a show, and I had some reservations about what people think about it, but I was like, okay, I'm doing a show. And when I walked in that place, I knew it was your boys.
mm-hmm. My boys.
Your man's in
Is
them.
it because they had
No,
Case of Bush Light on the stage?
No, you know why I'm saying your boys. I ain't even mad at
Who's my boys?
I ain't even mad at who your man's is. I'm not even mad at that Trump is your man's in them, son. Your boys. I did a show where your man's in them was there, right? Everywhere. Right?
Just because they're drinking Bush Light on stage,
No, motherfucker.
smashing cans on their head and thrown away,
Your
they got to be
buddies.
my boys.
Your boy. All your mans in them was there, right?
Okay.
6 white comedians. I'm the only black guy.
You
I
were
went
the
on
only black
last.
comedian.
Oh, now I think about it. They put me in the back of the bus. They put me in the back of the lineup. God damn you. I went on stage, did no politics. I was just funny. And at the end of the show, I got a standing ovation, right?
You did.
And at the end of the show, Kid Rock, this is the first time I did it. You can't do the second one. At the end of the show, I said, Kid Rock came up to me. He said, Donnell, I think we might have just brought this country back together. I was like, well, don't separate it.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because a lot of people don't know Kid Rock has a biracial son, right? And when I did the show, you can beep this out however you want. When I did the show, I was like, oh man, Kid Rock. I said, ain't no neighbors in here, right? I said the only neighbor I seen in here was Kid Rock's son, right? And his son looked at me so proud. He was like, yes, nobody's ever called me a real neighbor before. And the point I'm making is, I wish that we could get to a point that we didn't get so caught up in what people political views or their thoughts are to not be able to identify if a person's a good person or a bad person. So that's what it comes to.
Why didn't you turn away from Kid Rock when everybody else did? Because a lot of people, especially in the black community and in the world that you rock in, They didn't want nothing to do with him. He was too hot for any of them to be around. But you didn't turn your back on him, man.
And the reason why I tell you that was the case because during the pandemic, when we were doing these cornfield shows with Dave, right? Kid Rock has a mutual friend that was part of the Chappelle Show team, and Kid Rock had been like in the house quarantined like so many other people, and he came out to Yellow Springs to visit his security friend of ours, and nobody wanted to be around him. Nobody wanted to take a picture with him. And I know this sounds crazy, but he was just like, what the fuck? And I had a conversation with him, and we was doing our river runs, right? And I was like, yo, man, what you need to do, man, you got to go in the river with us. You know that's interesting for a black guy to invite a white guy to the river. He was looking at me like, oh, you talking to me? Nobody talking to me. And you're black and you're talking to me? We went to the river. We floating down the river for like 30 minutes. He's sitting back. He's smoking a joint. I'm smoking a joint. This beautiful day. You hear like the water flowing and birds and shit. And he looked over, he said, man, it felt like I just went through 12 hours of anger management, right? And I saw a side of him that I think Kid Rock is more of a provocateur than anything.
Yeah.
I think that he knows what's going to push the button and what you're going to get at arms about. I even suggested in the conversation we had, I said, man, do this for me, man. I said, you should cover the Nina Simone song, Misunderstood. I said, you do that with a guitar, it'd be crazy, but that would be too much of a right thing to do. But on that river trip, we did that, and then we pull over, we had a little spot, we drinking beers and shit, and he started working the grill for people, and I didn't see Kid Rock, I saw Bobby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of people don't get the opportunity to know a person like that because his persona as Kid Rock is loud and everything. One thing I can say about him, when your man won, right? It was a happy day for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Kid Rock. And I was like, oh man, I know this motherfucker's about to go crazy. He gonna be like, fuck you, motherfucker, fuck you. He did a video. And I was so taken by this video. He did a video about your boy winning. And he said, now is not the time to gloat. Now is the time. This is what he said. He did him as Kid Rock, like the fuck you.
Yeah.
And then him as Bobby, baseball cap. And I thought that was so dope. He said, now is not time to grow. He said, I think that we share similar views on both sides, but we don't know how we're going to get there. I thought that was showing another side of him that a lot of people don't see. People can try to tear me up all they want, but I know that I have had a personal relationship with him. I've had conversations beyond politics and everything, and to what I know of him, he's always been cool with me. And that's it.
I'll tell you, the second show that you did down there for him, you invited Lisa and I down with you. I think we went from Indianapolis down to Nashville, and you blew it away. Like you were the funniest dude on stage by far. Kid Rock loved it. It was a great environment. But you invited us back with you, and we were able to go back to Kid Rock's house and hang out on the patio and just talk. And there's so many. What? I
didn't tell you to tell motherfuckers I hang with the dude.
You just told him.
I said we talk.
No, you were hanging out with him. You want me to edit that out?
Yo.
Let's figure it out. No, but we're overlooking the mountains.
Him a couple times.
No, we were overlooking the mountains.
You like this? We over there watching strippers and shit. We drinking beers.
No, the fireplace was on.
All right, I went over to Kid Rock house. I said it. Go. What was you gonna say?
It was a chill night.
Right.
Overlooking the mountains, Nashville, beautiful home. But what's moments like that represent for you, though, that people don't see behind the scenes? Because you're right. All they see is like the people on the outside. They see Donnell on TV. They see Kid Rock in his performing. And I've always been a Kid Rock fan. But I'll tell you that night I saw something different in him that I hadn't seen ever.
You saw Bobby.
I saw Bobby.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not going to make that argument with anybody. I'm not going to go back and forth. I know. They were like, yeah, but he feels so-and-so. I already stated, I think he's more of a provocateur than anything. I think if you tell him to go right, he's going to want to go left. If you say you go up, he's going to want to go down. He's just going to be the rebel. That's who he is. And he could be proud as whatever to be who he is. I don't give a fuck about that. I know the relationship that I have with him, the conversation I had with him. I know some of his close friends that are black that he worships. I know how the black community he'll tell you that was the first pass he got. That's how he got introduced to
Yeah.
his energy. People do evolve, they want to do other things. I don't know if what people think of him, it was feelings that he had suppressed and finally came out. But the guy that I know, Bobby that I know, it's different. Even when he came out to Yellow Springs, like I almost got fired because he was in the building, and I know how much it would mean to, especially the Muddy Boot crowd that was out there. You boys in them was out there, right? I knew how. I was like, man, Kid Rock can't be backstage, and nobody knows he's not here, right? And I took the mic, and I introduced him, right? And he grabbed the guitar, and he started playing the guitar. And he was like, he was like, man. He said, man, I haven't performed in a while. He was very grateful of the acceptance, and he's a multimillionaire,
Sure.
the opportunity for people to get to see him as a human.
All right, so as we finish talking really about like your relationship with Bob or Kid Rock, whatever you want to call him, do you wish that more of America would see those types of opportunities to come together with people maybe they thought they wouldn't be able to come together with?
First off, I don't like your Walter Cronkite energy. First of all, I don't like your 60-minute energy, Todd. You are giving me, as the streets in the white, you're giving me 60-minute energy. Like, we're going to be like, and we'll be right back after this. Donnell, so what is your relationship with friends? We'll be right back.
I'm trying to do what everybody else fails at.
And what is that?
To keep you serious for more than 45 seconds.
Okay, let's go back. What's the question again?
Your relationship with Kid Rock, Bob, whatever you want to call him, you guys have a good relationship. You and I have
The
this
white man. Say it how you
the
want
white
to say
man.
it, Todd.
You have a relationship with this white man sitting here.
The
We have a
other
great
white
friendship.
man.
In which,
The
by
other-
the way, if I'm being serious, I admire every time I get to see you on stage, how you perform, how you interact with the crowd. But not just that. Here's the thing that I noticed about you. And one of the things that I learned from you. The way that you interact with every person that you talk to at your stand-ups, whether it's in the hall, whether it's in a line, whether it's in a VIP or in a club, you make them feel like they're important at that moment. And they are important in your life. I know that. But you don't give off like that Hollywood vibe, that like crazy, I'm too good for anybody. And like just that way that you make people
You know
feel
what,
like
Todd?
I really
It's so
admire
funny
that.
you said that because your statement, a lot of people would say the statement that Todd said is very gay. And I don't mean gay in a gay-ish. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
You meant happy.
yeah, happy. It was just so nice and everything. But I realized, to answer your question seriously, I don't take anything for granted. And I look at it like this. I think everybody in this world, you have a God-given talent. Whether you can identify with it and turn it into something that's lucrative or can provide a lifestyle, that's a lifestyle for you. That's another thing to be said. But I'm very grateful that, like yourself, that I call my own shots. I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
I wake up when I want to wake up. I go to sleep when I want to go to sleep. I engage with people who I want and who I don't want. So I don't take that for granted. And then when I look at it, anything I got in life, and I'm not saying it's a whole bunch of shit, but anything that represents my life, when I look back at it, I look at it, it was comedy. It was jokes. Like, it's so interesting. Sometimes I catch myself, I'm like this, yo, your job is to make people laugh and feel good. That's the toughest thing I got to do every day is think about writing the next joke to get me paid or
Yeah.
to build relationship with people. I hear people say, well, must you probably get tired of people like saying I'm rich, bitch, and like always want to take pictures and stuff. I look at that as a gauge to what I've done in my career. I've established myself enough where people want to take a picture. People want to have that memory. I would never deprive them of that. And it makes me feel good. Like, you must be doing something right for these people to gravitate towards you. And also, even people like, do you get tired of people calling you Ashy Larry? It's so hard in this business to be recognized from anything.
Yeah.
To have a name from anything. So if that was something that introduced people to me and people like it and connect with it, I'm not gonna be like, don't call me Ashy Larry. My name is so-and-so. Not that. It's just like, that's just showing me that I'm doing something with these people. Fuck with me.
When I realized, I took our friendship for granted a little bit. Not our friendship.
As do most white men.
It is. It's a white thing.
Yeah.
But I took for
Shout out to
granted
tenderism. Is it tender?
tendernism.
Yeah.
What I took for granted was how famous you really are. Because when we met, you never treated me like that, right? Like we were just two
We was in
friends.
Yellow Springs, son.
We were in Yellow Springs, two guys, coffee shop, and a land full of white women with bare feet and, weed. And that's where we live at.
Right.
You know when I realized how famous you were? When we were in Nashville and we left Kid Rock's house. You remember this? We were
Why
in the
you gotta
Sprinter.
keep telling people we was at Kid Rock house, man?
Because you were hanging out with him all
we was
night.
at Kid Rock house, so what?
You were hanging out with him all night.
All right, what?
All night. We stopped at a gas station to get some snacks.
Chicken.
Not because we were drunk, not because we had smoked anything, but just,
Right.
we need some snacks. And It was locked up. You remember that?
Yeah.
And we were walking away back to the Sprinter van. And dude comes running out. Yo, Ashley Larry.
Yo, come
Ashley
in.
Larry. He unlocked the gas station at like 3:34 in the morning. Had you come in. He's like, cash, just pick out whatever you want, man. Write it down the list.
Yeah, I remember that. And I don't ever take advantage of it. That's a good moment. Because like you said, like, not on the Hollywood stuff, I'm a very humble person. You know what I'm saying? And we all are the same person. We all are human. I never, ever want to, like, not be a cool motherfucker.
Right.
You know? Like, damn, man, that's how I, like, when you said me about, I never connect with fame. I never acknowledge it. I never abuse it or anything. Well, it's only certain cases I will try to be famous. In those moments, if I'm like at Disneyland and my son wants to go on this ride and that shit is way back there, I'm going to the front of that line saying, I'm rich, bitch. I'm saying everything. If it's something that could advance the situation with my son, I might try to flex a little bit. Other than that, man, it's what it is. I'm blessed.
Yeah, you don't like, why'd you make me pay for everything at the gas station that night? You're the famous one.
I probably, well, first off,
Because I'm white.
no, white people will argue with you about paying something. White
You're
people
right, we
are the
will.
only people that say your money's no good here.
But do you
what
know
I'm
why
saying?
that is though?
Well,
For a guy like me, why do you think? Like, I don't let if I'm at dinner, you've paid for my dinner many times.
yeah.
It's hard for me to let somebody pay for my dinner, but do you understand why?
Why?
Because for me, I don't want to feel like anybody controls me.
I agree.
So if I order dinner, I'm like, oh, can I order the $1,000 steak? Can I order you said you want to pay for it, but do you know what
Right.
I'm ordering, right? And if I'm paying for everybody and I'm ordering for everybody and like nobody has to worry about money, I know I can just enjoy myself and have fun and like order whatever. And you're a lot like me. I'll order one of the everything off the menu.
Right.
That way, like nobody has to worry.
I had a situation. I was dating this woman some years ago, and her father was a very, very successful accountant in Los Gatos, California. And he was a San Francisco 49er fan, right? Like a huge fan. And he took myself out and a bunch of people to this steakhouse. Very, very nice steakhouse. I don't remember the name of it. And we was talking trash about, I think San Francisco was playing the Redskins, right? And we won. And I was talking a lot of trash at the dinner table. And then he just almost going to what you said. He was like, he tried to be funny. He was like, all right, well, guess who's paying the bill? He looked at me. He said, guess who's paying the bill? And I looked at that. It was $2,500. I started counting the steaks and shit. I was like, well, if you gonna talk shit, you better be ready to get hit, right? He said, guess who's paying the bill? I was like, and if it's me being able to talk trash about the 49ers and big up the Redskins, I'm paying the bill. Yo, I was so glad he ain't taking me up on that shit. Because at the time, I wasn't really working with too much, but I was like, I'm not going to give him the power to, like you say, like, because you took care of it, and I was ready to pay the bill, but it was good enough that I didn't have to.
So let's talk about paying the bill.
And it was so funny because I was dating his daughter, right? He was very wealthy. I was dating his daughter, and when she met me, she didn't know. This is interesting. She was in the Peace Corps at the time that the Chappelle Show was really, really hot, right? So she didn't really know what was going on here in America, like what was pop culture and everything. And I met her on the set of this film. Her sister was working on the film as a producer. And she was the first person that was like, yo, I want to show you around Los Gatos, right? Never been around here. She's the first person who took me out to do anything that was normal. We went to this bar, and we was in there, and I was getting heat, like, oh shit.
Right.
and she went to the bathroom. Like, I went to the bathroom, and she came back. She was like, "This dude was like, do you know who that is?" And she was like, "No, I don't."
I'm just sleeping with him.
Yo, no, it wasn't even that. We was just friendly at the time. It was friendly then. They was like, "Do you know who that is?" And she was like, "No, who the fuck is it?" Right? She didn't. And the thing that I really appreciate about her, she didn't connect with the fame or anything. She was just like, it was just a cool guy. And I didn't realize how much money her family had. One day we was walking down the street and somebody yelled, "I'm rich, bitch." And she said, "So am I." And it was a dope. Shout out to her. She's happily married with a kid and everything, but she was dope shit. She was a white girl.
All right, so you brought up paying the bill.
Did I
But
have to
from
throw
what I
that in
saw
there?
on TMZ,
Did I have to throw that in there? Say she was a white girl. You
don't have to say that.
Do Dr. Umar watch this podcast? I'm about to be.
He ain't gonna watch it
fucked
now.
outside.
He ain't gonna watch it now.
Oh, Umar. Oh, I slipped.
He's not watching it now.
All this tenderism shit, his tender got me fucked up right now.
If you want
My brain
confessions
is- I'm
about
unpacking right
snow
now.
bunnies, we're gonna have to do a whole nother show.
Ain't no confessions about no snow bunnies.
That's another episode.
First off,
Like a whole episode.
God made everybody equal. Don't matter, black or white. That sounds like somebody that dated.
The
a couple
NBA
white
would
chicks.
say otherwise.
Don't do that, son.
Could I be a sinner in the NBA?
Yo, you
No.
you trying comedy again?
I
Could you be a sinner? No way.
yeah, I could be a stand-up. Give me 5 minutes.
Of doing stand up?
No, because here's a problem. I think I'm a funny dude at times,
I don't
but
wanna
it
hear
takes
this shit,
5 minutes
man.
of warming up to me
I don't
before
wanna
you get
hear
to know
this
my
shit,
humor.
man. I don't want to hear this shit.
Have I ever tried to do stand-up?
I don't support. You like they say, I don't come down there and close on houses when you on your job.
No, you
Yo,
you did.
I don't come down there with hard money
Who'd you call
lenders.
when we had to
Yo.
clean up your squatter house?
Yeah, you did. But yo,
Todd,
stay in your
I haven't
lane.
seen this property in 6 months, and I got all these squatters and drug addicts in my house.
I needed help. I knew you was connected with it.
Well, we got
I knew you
you.
was a person to talk
Let's
to.
get back to the bill, though,
What?
because TMZ reported that maybe there was an
Don't-
issue with the bill at Little Pete's in Philly. Was it Philly?
It was Philly. Let me tell you this backstory.
It was a breakfast spot, right?
It was a breakfast spot. I had an incident. You can Google it. Donnell Rawlings Philly Brawl. But this is how I started, and then you're gonna get excited about this. I was in Philly, and this was the time when your boy was running to be president. Your man had these streets hot. This was when he was going at Hillary talking about lock her up, right? So your boys, your boys is heavy. Y'all heavy.
I don't know why you keep
Y'all
saying my
heavy.
boys.
Y'all heavy in Jersey. So your boys in this spot, I go in there and I ordered some pancakes or whatever, and I was gonna go outside and have a smoke. And then the lady in the vestibule, she was like, she thought I was trying to run out on my tab, right? And it was so messed up because I was the only black dude in there, right? And then when I looked back in the restaurant when I was arguing with this lady, your boys was out there. And they was
Who's your boy? Like white guys?
MAGAs.
Maggots. They were outside.
Maggots.
Oh,
Maggots.
I
yeah.
got you.
And they was like this. Lock him up. Lock him up. Yo, your boy had the streets on fire, and they was like, lock him up. And then this guy from the kitchen came back, and he approached me, and I thought, certain times of the day I should not try to fight. 2 o'clock in the morning, probably having a couple of drinks wasn't a good idea. But I swung and I did a whole 360. I'm the only person that almost knocked himself out. I dropped myself. And it was a big deal in Philly, but that place since has been closed down. So I didn't have to do anything, but it was a very, very interesting night.
Was there anything the cameras didn't catch? Or was what you saw pretty much what happened?
It was what happened. I slipped. I know what you're about to say. I got knocked out. I didn't get knocked out.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't see him connect with you.
I slipped. That's what the fuck.
I didn't see him connect
with
you.
Any black dude that ever got knocked out slipped. Or sucker punched me. He was looking you right in your eyes. That wasn't yo, why you sucker punch me right in my face? It was because I had a bad taste in my mouth about Philly because of that. But then sometime later I performed at this comedy club that I do a lot, and the crowd embraced me good. So I had all the bad feelings I had about Philly, but all the bad feelings, because everybody know Philly is a fucked up town.
Did you learn anything about fame and cameras?
Don't go to a diner that's all white people late at night and go outside and smoke a cigarette. That's what I learned. And don't support Philly fans. They suck.
All right, quickly. You've had two hugely viral parts with Kill Tony. So
Could y'all be quiet in the back, please? You just talked now.
Yeah, man. You guys see what I'm dealing with here?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Kill Tony. First one, they claim you walked out. You claim you went to get sushi. See, you can't remember your story.
You know what? You reading the headlines.
No, you told me that. You said I left to go get sushi.
I did go to go get sushi. But the backstory, I'll make as quick as possible. This was during the pandemic. Kill Tony moved his whole operation from Los Angeles to Austin, Texas. He couldn't get really any good guests because everybody was afraid of the pandemic, COVID, not Corona, I'm sorry. And so people would come and do Joe Rogan's show and leave on Monday. I happened to be down there doing a residency with Dave, and Tony's like, yo, come do the show. I was like, Tony, I'm not a big fan of your platform because I'll get mad, they'll push me, and then it'll just get crazy. I'd rather not. He was like, yo, D, I need you, blah, blah, blah. So as a friend, I came down for him. I told him that I wasn't going to be able to stay all night. Everybody's like, yeah, he had a sushi date, but he could have just switched the reservation and booked it another time. This is not that type of sushi spot. This is one of those sushi spots where they probably do 2 dinners a night, a total of 6 to 8 people, and it's an entire experience.
Yeah.
They're going through the whole thing. It's not like sushi samba or no shit like that. It's like, no soy sauce. You got to use your finger. You know that type of shit.
I've been there, yeah.
Yeah, that type of shit. So we doing the show. There's a comedian that starts to fuck with me or whatever, like try to crack jokes on me, which I thought was weird because it was only 2 black people in that place that night. It was me and the other comedian that was on stage, right? And I was really trying to get this guy some sound advice. But, Kill Tony platform is to like try to be shocking and roast and everything. He was coming at me. I thought it was black on black crime. I didn't really appreciate it, whatever. Didn't mean too much. The show continues to go on, and then I tell Tony I was going to go to the bathroom, right? I knew I wasn't going to the bathroom. I was leaving. I was going to go get the sushi day. I get up. You see me leave on the side. They still doing the show. They think I'm going to the bathroom. Cut to days later, they edited a video where it looks like the guy is roasting me, and then I leave.
Yeah.
But if you look at the video, you see there's two different people at 2 different times. But to Kill Tony, because a lot of those fans are super assholes. They just like cringe. They're
ruthless.
They're nasty people. And they just took that storyline, they ran with it. I did Rogan's show sometime after that, and Rogan called Tony, and Tony doubled down on it because that's how that little fucking motherfucker is. He doubled down on it, and this fan's like, yeah, you're the crash out king, whatever. So I had to go back, not on redemption, but basically on unfinished business.
You crushed the second show.
Yeah, I crushed the first one, but you know the way they edited it. That second show, I said, I'm gonna do everything to shut these trolls up, right? They say, oh, he's loud. I was like, I'm not gonna be crazy. He don't let nobody talk. I said, I'm gonna give people a chance to talk. And I would adhere to the rules because I didn't really understand the rules. Like when you pull your name out the bucket, you get a minute uninterrupted. First time I did it, I really didn't understand that concept because I don't really follow the show like that. So I was just, any chance I got to roast, it was like, you can't do that. But I listened to that. I didn't violate that. And it was a great show. And at the end of it, Red Band came to, he said, man, that was the most epic comeback in the history of Kill Tony. I said, don't call it a comeback. It wasn't no comeback.
Mm-mm.
You know the narrative that you put out there and you support it. And then you know who I am. And I went there and I ate that whole show for 2.5 hours.
You crushed it, but you still found a way to give them more than just crushing it, right?
And
because when I watched it looked like you were, let's just talk about the comedian.
Yeah.
He, she. What happened?
I got you.
What? Like for real though.
All right, let me tell you what.
You didn't know it was a guy.
This is a good time. Insert clip.
Hell, fuck you! It's probably true until you find out she has a dick, Donnell. That is a
That's how it happens, ladies and gentlemen. They can't tell.
No, Donnell, come back.
Okay, let me explain this. I had a couple drinks. I was loose, wasn't really paying attention to all the surroundings. And a gentleman lady man or something came out, right? And they did this song. They said, buddy, it was something about church. Praise his name. We will praise you. And I was like, into the song, praise you. And then I looked over, I said, this is what I want to say on behalf of all black guys, because I thought it was a white woman. And some people like, how did you think that face could be a woman's face? And I tell them, I live in Ohio.
Not just Ohio.
Yo, no, listen.
You live in a village.
Seen bitches that look like that nigga bitch. I mean, okay, what I was trying to say is I've seen women that look like that. I've seen women that look like that man's. All right, so I thought it was like a big back from Ohio, right? Because I was using my peripheral. And I said, yo, the joke I was making like brother, smash anything. And I said, we will, fuck you. And I'm looking like, yeah, that shit funny, right?
You were the only one
I know,
that didn't know it was a dude.
It was 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 Tito's. I don't know. But when I was like, where is this silence coming from? Right? And then Tony was like, oh, that's nice, Donnell. He said, well, Juanita is a man. I was like, oh shit. And then them bitch ass Kill Tony trolls start tearing my page up. They was like, he should have crashed out then. He's crashed out, King. He walked off. Yo, these fans is so ruthless. Over the summer, I posted a core memory with my son riding a bike, first time on his own. One of those, and one of them bitch-ass Kill Tony motherfuckers put on my page, well, it's a good thing that his son got his bike riding skills up. Now he don't have to worry about his dad walking out of his life. Everything was walk out.
That's how they are, though. That's what they remember.
But when I went back, I didn't take anything personal, but I went back, I was like, I want to show these motherfuckers, I'm nice at this shit. You know, it's not a podcast that I have been on, not a show that I've been on, not a movie I've been in, that I didn't fucking kill it because I give a fuck enough. I go hard. And to that, I want to say to the Kill Tony fans, fuck you. But I will be back on Kill Tony February 16th. I just secured a date and I'll be doing the Joe Rogan show, so make sure you check that out. Donnell Rawlings and Kill Tony and Joe Rogan coming up soon.
All right, so when you crash out, though, at times, because you have.
Why the fuck is you keep talking about crashing out,
let's
man?
answer this question, because you're about to do it right now.
But this what you doing is you rage baiting.
No, I'm not rage baiting you.
Why
I'm
you
asking
did I
you.
use the right word?
Is it an act?
You rage bait me. Let me give another one. You're not respecting my boundaries.
It's because your boundaries are curved.
And what you're doing
They're
now,
not straight edge boundaries.
What you're doing now is you're gaslighting me. I said that right? Gaslight, right?
That's white people's word. That's a white woman's word when she's in therapy.
Guess where I meet white women in therapy. You gaslight me. But you're gonna ask me another crash out question.
Yeah, it's it.
What is the crash out question?
Is it an act? Is it honesty? Or is it frustration?
Nothing about me is an act. Everything is the emotion that I'm dealing with in that moment. What you call a crash out, I call a misunderstanding. And going back to what we talked about earlier, you don't know what the buildup is. So don't put all the energy on the crash out. Let's put the energy on the buildup. Stop building me up. I won't crash out. Me? Why?
He keeps grabbing.
Can you hear me is the question. How's the audio?
That last one, really feedback now.
Okay. Oh, you trying to put your super producer shit on now? We know you producing the show, bro. No, you talking about, okay, all right, let's stop down. All right, back to 1-0. Let's go in action.
We good? Last two questions. Last two. I want to end on.
You need
Austin.
to get a new producer, man.
I want to end on Austin. Is that
you
cool?
need to get a new producer,
man,
man.
look, I'm working
Your
on limited
producer got a
funds.
bad attitude.
I'm working on limited
Your
funds.
producer got a bad attitude, and he's still wearing his punk ass Philadelphia hat on, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Get rid of him. 21 reels.
Oh man, I'm gonna skip over that one. That was about Cat Williams. I'll skip over that. All right. So at some point though, you moved from Hollywood. You moved to Yellow Springs. And I wanted to really get on this. And I think you and I talked about it a little bit earlier. Is that you no longer have to live in Hollywood to make it. You don't have to live there to be famous. What has it not done for you moving to Yellow Springs, a small village, being in the country? Because that's not what you were used to.
It gave me peace, and I really got connected with it during the pandemic. When probably for during the pandemic, it was a very tough time for me mentally because every day I was trying to figure out how I wasn't going to strangle the mother of my child.
What do you think?
This goes back on the part, like I feel like when you can get one of your friends to come investigate. When I say that, my mind was getting very cloudy on what reality was.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what do you think it taught you?
I ran away because I didn't want to strangle her.
Well, you didn't.
I found peace.
I was trying to avoid the relationship issue. But if there's anything you want to get off your chest
I
about.
was not getting out of my chest. I'm saying this was a transition for me. It was during the pandemic. I wasn't making any money, whatever. And we were just, but by all, I just want to be clear. I'm just saying this. I would never do it. Thought about it. Never would do it if I didn't have to get any jail time, possibly. Clean getaway, yeah. I would have strangled her during the pandemic.
And by her, you're talking about the mother
of my child.
of your child.
Well, fuck it. I know your audience knows this. My baby mother was getting on my goddamn nerves. Right? Getting on my nerves. At a tough time during the pandemic, nobody making money. Donald Trump said no live performances for 2020. All my money's live performance. And you fuck with me. Blah, 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 blah. And I didn't want to crash out. So what do? I go to Yellow Springs, Ohio, and I find some peace in a small town. I really realized how you can survive off the smallest to most simple things in life. I started having more value to things that I never had value. And I'm going to say this, and you can take my black card or whatever, and any black, I'm going to look in the camera. This is my camera right here, right? I'm going to look in the camera. I'm going to say this, and y'all can say whatever the fuck y'all want to say. I know I'm about that life. I went to Yellow Spring, and I fell in love with nature.
Nature. Nature or white women?
I fell in love with the nature of white women. I fell in love with nature. I ain't talking about no white bitch. I fell in love with cardinals, blue jays, turtles, deers, moles. Koi. And I realized, I was like, why do you have to stress yourself to be in Hollywood, California, an industry that's declining in regards to making it? It's not like you're going to be on stage. I'm like, that's the guy I want to be in this movie. People are discovering you different ways. And I was like, I really like the slow pace. I really like, it was tranquil. It was peace. I really like being in a neighborhood that is this is the most crime-free area I've been in my life. I live in Yellow Springs, Ohio. I could leave my car in the driveway running. The worst thing would happen somebody would go take my car to the gas station if it got to E and bring it back. I live in a community where every white woman brought me some type of pastries and baked goods for the first 3 weeks. I live in a neighborhood that I'm the youngest nigga, I'm the youngest neighbor on the block. And these Golden Girl bitches think I'm Idris Elba. I live in a place where they say, damn, he fine. Yo, Todd, you've been through this before with me. You've never heard nobody say you fine.
Are you saying I've never heard that?
You've heard that phrase?
Stop playing with me.
You never heard phrase? I never heard fine. I come from a place where I could be cute in an outfit. He looked cute in his sweater. Yo, he looked cute with his new Nikes on. I could never get that. So for me, Yellow Springs, man, I'm pulling my vanity car. I'm fucking hot.
But yeah.
Nigga, I'm a hunk. Nigga, I go to Dollar General, shut the whole shit down, nigga. You ever see me in the Gulch? They be throwing panties at the Gulch, nigga. I went to the fucking dive bar. This is why I love Ohio. I got the whole bar lit one night. Gave the bitch $100 bill. She gave me $22 back.
Hey, that's so true.
Yo, and we talk
So
about no.
true.
We talk about drinks that big backs drink.
Like, first time I
joints
went to
with
the
the hooks.
Gulch, I
The
bought the whole
hooks.
bar around.
The hooks, the big backs, like the hook joints, son.
Big ones.
Yeah. So back to it, I really fell in love with, and my life is so out there, so chaotic. I could get chaos wherever, go wherever. I like coming back to Yellow Spring. I like it being peaceful, right? I like how comfortable it is. It's not Hollywood. It used to be that way. And it used to be like, one thing I like about Yellow Springs, the flyest car you probably see in Yellow Springs would be like a Bronco or something, right? And then we had people start to move in the neighborhood that's driving down these slow streets of Yellow Springs in a Lambo. A Lambo, son.
Like, are you offended by that?
No, I'm just saying, your car don't match, son. Your car don't
I
match,
think it
son.
matches.
Your car, this nigga car is like 10 acres.
I got a
Your
zip
car
line
is
at
like,
my house.
Yo, your car is like to some people, they look at that car and be like, that you could have got 40 acres of land with that car. But it was peaceful until you moved to the neighborhood. But I like it. I like things being closed at a certain time. I was talking about this, and then if the streets ever hear about this, like, I bird watch now. I be watching birds, Todd.
I think this story helps us close up the tenderism, though, that you were talking about. You want to know why?
No, you don't even know what bird that is.
Which one is it?
The cardinal. That's a cardinal.
Red or blue?
Red female. Yo, that's the life that's the life. I'm a river ninja. I'm a river ninja now, Todd.
River.
I spend time in the river. I get peace in the river.
It is peaceful out there.
It is.
But I need you to let me be serious for a minute, because we have to close up the tenderism, and this is important for me. Because as we talk about this, recently I saw a video where you may have won some money in a court case in regards to your koi. Now, don't say anything yet, because you're talking this whole tenderism thing earlier where Walt wasn't getting properly financially, taken care of based on the barbecue.
Right.
And when I look back at your koi pond, I remember whose idea it was for Donnell to have a koi pond. And now you're making money off your koi pond. And I don't feel like I've been properly compensated by either your content that you've been putting out there, making residual on,
Well, let me
or
answer
this court
way.
case
Let me
where you
answer
won money
this
with your
way.
koi.
Let me answer it this way, Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because, of course, you discovered koi fish. Christopher coming, another trick by the white man, stealing, misappropriating, whatever. That story came, Christopher. That's the way that came by. You were at my place. We had a couple of drinks, and you said, yo, you should put a koi pond. Yes. Did you get me out the gate? We're thinking about it? Yes. You was like, I got a koi pond, blah, 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 blah. So now I don't want to do the whole pond. I said, let me start with I want to say like above ground. It's like the redneck version of a swimming pool. I started with an above ground.
You should have a Budweiser cap on looking at your koi pond.
No, that's what we talk about. I ain't never get to tell you this, right? So you gave me the idea. I go get some koi, right, from the Fairborn, whatever, some koi, and they bootleg koi. And then you say, yo, I'm just going to bring just what you told me. Just what you told me, son. You want to tell the real shit? I never got to tell you this shit. Then you pour some of your diseased-ass koi fish over there. Killed my whole pond, son.
My koi was healthy before you took it to your house.
Your koi killed every koi in that pond, son. And you ain't give me koi. You know what? You gave me some carnival goldfish. They wasn't koi, son.
You took them. I didn't give them to you.
You gave me motherfucking goddamn carnival goldfish.
You went and got the fish. I wasn't even there when you went and got the fish.
No. You and Pax brought some over.
Yeah, we brought you koi.
Yeah. Well, was something wrong with them.
Okay, I didn't kill your fish. What I remember
Your
is
fish
one of
killed
your
mine.
koi was laying on the ground for 17 hours without you knowing it. He had jumped out of your koi pond. You didn't even realize
a
it.
Petco. That was Big Randy.
Okay, well, he was on the ground for like
He
8
survived,
hours.
though. He survived.
But how did he get out of the pond, though?
He probably tried to commit suicide.
But you weren't looking after him. That's neglect.
Man, I don't give a fuck about them fish.
They have CPS for
man,
koi
them
fish.
fish right there is for my kids, man. I ain't no fish nigga like that, man. I'll fry your fish, but I ain't gonna be collecting them and knowing they bloodlines and they not going to the vet or none of that shit. That goddamn those fish was for my son. It was inspired by you. And I will say this, koi, if you get into it, it's a big thing. They call it living art or whatever. In some communities, koi's prices can go from $200 to $25,000.
I got some big ass koi. I got one big white koi. Has these bright blue eyes. He just pops out
Where's
of the water.
it been? I haven't seen it the whole summer.
I don't know, man. I think you guys killed. After you took koi from my pond, I started having koi pop up dead on my shore, on my banks.
Those was your fish already dying, bro.
I don't know, man. It was something.
Your koi is already dying. And then you know what? In cases, I don't know if you could even run. I didn't want to argue about it, whatever. I was having issues with how my koi were being treated, and at some point I got upset, and I had to actually take my cousin to court about the koi fish.
What court is this? Roll that clip real quick.
Okay.
It was tragic to come home
Here come the tears. Okay.
to see these fish like this in front of my son. That's all I'm saying.
I understand.
And Yana, look at me. I don't need the money.
Now this is your cousin, and you're suing him for money.
But
over
he
your
was
koi
only my
fish.
cousin by blood. I don't really fuck with him like that. I made my point. I went on this show. I got my piece. The judge ruled in my favor, and I want to move on. I don't want to talk about that no more, Todd.
All right, we're done. We're done with the koi fish stuff. Let's talk about the people that maybe only know you because you have the most viral, iconic meme of all time. It's you laughing and falling out of the chair from the Breakfast Club. If there's somebody out there, no matter how famous you are, not everybody knows you, right? Like, it doesn't matter what famous person there is.
Everybody knows me, Todd.
Most people know you. But if someone only knows you from that meme that they see at the end of every reel, basically, what do you want them to know about you now?
That I am the motherfucker that will make you laugh. Just like in that clip, uncontrollable laugh, stomach issues laugh. That represents, that clip with me and Charlamagne, the Breakfast Club, it represents hanging out with me for a day. It represents being my friend. And it also represents, that's like a day of hanging out with me, that's what it's like. I tell people all the time, yeah, pay money to come see me do stand-up. But if you really want to laugh, just hang all day. So if anything from that clip, that's what I want people to know, that this is the guy that made motherfuckers uncontrollably just go nuts like that.
Yeah. Well, man, I agree with you. People say, what's it like being around Donnell? I said, he's the funniest dude I've ever been around in my entire life. Whether it's on stage. I mean, I'll go to stage and I've been to enough of your shows that I've heard the same jokes a couple times. Not all the time, because you deliver different every time you're on stage, no matter what. But I've heard a couple jokes, but no matter how many times I hear them or I see them on a reel or something, I laugh just as hard like it's the first time I've heard that joke, because your delivery and the way you make people feel when you're in front of them is just something incredible. But outside of comedy, what does peace look like for you?
Peace looks like, for me,
Because
like,
you're getting old.
Of my big age, that's what the YM say. My big age. What peace looks like to me is like chilling with my son in some capacity. That's what peace looks like to me. I don't think that there's anything else in this world that's going to give me the level of peace that I get when I'm with my son. We all go through things. We get distracted by things. We go through things mentally, whatever. But my ultimate peace is me being with him, enjoying him, communicating with him, doing things with him. That's the one piece that I know I can control and I know that it makes me feel the best.
You slowing down anytime soon, or stand up still rocking for a
No,
while?
I'm never gonna slow down. Somebody asked me once. They said, "Donnell, when do comedians retire?" We don't. We just die.
Yeah.
It's just like, yo, he just had a show in Cincinnati, and then, oh, this one hurt. Prayer go up. Prayer hands go up. That's what happened. Comedians, if with most comedians, if you could, you would do what before you exit, you probably would want to do one last show. You know, so I'm never, and I enjoy it. I enjoy doing stand-up too much. I've been doing it over 32, maybe 33 years. And I can honestly say, I feel the same way from the first time I ever touched a mic until last week. And what I mean by that is that every time I'm getting ready to go on stage, I'm thinking about, I'm trying to body this room.
Yeah.
We're talking about hundreds of thousands of shows in my career. And there's not one time that I ever said, I don't feel like doing this, or I don't want to do it, or with the intent. It hasn't always worked out the way I feel, but I've always felt like, yo, this could possibly be your last show.
Yeah. I compare you, you're like the comic version of me, right? And that's in a good way, right? Like you in your lane with comedy, you're 150 miles an hour. I don't know how you travel. I mean, you're all over the place, all over the country. And I'm the same way in my business, 150 miles an hour with so many different directions. And we complement each other so well based on the different things that we do. But there's very few people that can rock at the speed that you rock at and the speed that I rock at with business. And I don't think that's something you teach people. It's something that you just have in your heart,
Well,
man. It's a grind.
Another thing that connects like two friends or business partner, whatever, it's like the flavor of ice cream you like, right? Like, there's people out here, some of your audience, and they're MAGA guys. They like chocolate ice cream. I like chocolate ice cream.
I like mint chocolate. Chocolate.
You know, depends on your flavor. What ice cream you like?
All right, I think we're going to cut you off for the day.
No, I'm just saying some people like vanilla, some people like chocolate.
Some people like a swirl.
A swirl, yep.
A swirl. You're a swirl guy
I'm a guy that likes to give
with
people
pistachios on top.
No, I'm a guy that likes to give people opportunities. Opportunities to prove your flavor. That's me.
All right, man. Well, I know you're busy. I appreciate you stopping by
I'm
today.
not busy, Todd.
You are busy. You're always busy.
I'm not busy. This is how people kick you out. Like, all right, let's wrap it up. I know you're busy. No, but I was excited to do the podcast. We've been talking about it for a while. I said it would be great to show an introduction to what our friendship is. But I won't say more importantly, but to add to this, I'm super, super, super excited about masterminds. I'm super excited. This is what gets me. And I called you times. I said, yo, man, you inspire me. And I say, because a lot of people talk about what they're going to do. They dream about it. But every time that since I've known you, every time you said you was going to do something, you did it. And even when there's something that you didn't even know about, you're like, I'm going to teach myself. I'm going to teach myself. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to talk about it. Even this new spot that you built here, I remember going to see it was a bare spot. Like, what the fuck you going to do down here? And then I go back later, 2 months later, and you're getting close to where you're about to host your first event, and that space looks amazing. And it don't look like somebody that dream. It look like somebody that's all about execution and reality. All my friends, and you gave me an opportunity to employ some people that I believe in, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And everybody, I tell them, not even knowing you, I'm like, yo, this, I'm going to say this, and I hope you don't get offended by this. And I say this, I say, man, this a get it nigga. I don't know that a neighbor. I said, this is a get it neighbor. And I tell, they said, what do you mean? I said, whatever he's working on right now, he'll see the beginning. You might not see the end of it, but he's going to get there. So thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. We'll see you. And we'll see you guys next time.
Holla, why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know where the pride